spitter, just like fucking whatever that shit is.
No, his eyes. He's still
What's
doing
the?
Yeah. Where's that? Jones, you're an idiot.
Christmas post.
Fundraising.
Or the 26th.
I played with Ben because he coached travel.
December 26th. What are you doing today?
Well,
I didn't want to fucking transfer.
I'm on reserve, like, you know, like those fucking bullpen catchers you see at the MLB fields. I'm like one of those guys. Hurry up and wait.
Nice shoes, Joe.
Thank you.
Also had two of the best shoe players.
Yeah. Hopefully Cincinnati. Yes, sir. Maybe Minnesota. You wanted to get? Sweet. Yeah, when I was at Missouri Baptist, I threw a pen 6 pitches in a row, threw my leg like that. I threw 5 in a row for strikes. And the 6th one, I threw off my calf. I was down for 2 days, and coach was pissed.
It's funny.
Gotta have fun, but not that much fun.
So the new under the leg pitch is definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't do it here, but I would step across and rip it like that.
That's a little
bad. I feel like I get pretty far out on my wind-up steps. Like my forward thing, like I didn't even get all the way back here. I think on a couple during lives on Friday. So I think my focus today is going to be getting a little shorter here on the wind-up, so then when I come back, I can grab this corner a little easier.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the same thing. I think, but what I saw Friday, a lot of the misses were not being patient enough on the downbeat. And the first one, right? And get on
Gotta put weight on the scale back here.
Right, put the weight on the scale, find your go-to top, and then ride it from there.
There.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I'm looking for.
6'10" extension. Oh boy. Finding it.
Yeah, and that's just heel tone.
Right. It was easy.
That's like I'm barely trying to step on the pedal.
Yeah.
Just trying to feel the move. Beyond time. Last one.
All right, so final start heading into road trip.
Right.
New continent, new country.
Oh yeah.
Been there before though.
Yeah,
Right?
second trip. Second round for me.
For our schedule and our plan for everything leading up to today, right? Do you feel like we've accomplished some big things? And if so, what?
Well, when I came in here, I thought I was just going to use the facility for the tracking and get some data. But then getting to talk with John and the good minds in here, it just ended up turning into, well, first off, he diagnosed what I had already seen being wrong with the way I move. He pointed it out first thing. That was the first thing he did. So that obviously put me in a way where I was like, okay, not going to work with that. And then I, continued on, and I'm getting a foot more of extension than I used to. I'm getting the best
hilarious,
spin.
Right?
Yeah, I'm getting the best spin. And I'm in the flats inside on a rubber mound. So something's working. I'm happy. It feels good too. Like, it feels easy to do.
Show me what easy looks like.
Yeah, this is no gas pedal.
Look like a light jog on the beach.
Yeah, that's all day.
Love that. 2100 spin, 1818 on the vert and horizontal, and 611 extension. Not bad.
Yeah, we're getting farther and farther. I want that 7 foot. See if I can get up there. See if I can link up this.
Good velo bump. Extension's the same.
I didn't really I wasn't totally on top of the downbeat on that one. Downbeat being foot strike. See if I can get the big back move with being a little better on downbeat.
And then the only thing that I saw was the pointing of the fingers.
Right.
You know, the finger point.
So that's the downbeat for me. It's the same idea as getting those.
The donkey.
If I'm up, I'm not ready.
Right.
Right. That's not ready for downbeat. Downbeat's got to be over top of it. There you go. Let's see if we can link it up.
That was the best angle. You could really see the down angle all the way through.
That one felt like a dunk. The other one felt like I wiped a little butt.
7-2.
7-2.
7-2. We just jumped 6 inches of extension. Having a conversation. Also down in the zone. Now, lost a little spin and a little spin efficiency. So you gyro, turn, tag. But that's not a problem here.
Yeah.
I think that's better for you. You get better action.
My best in game from last year was 5'10".
Right.
So it's we're already just we're fiddling with things that are already going to be better than whatever.
That's hilarious. Shout out to your organization for all of the data that we were able to compare, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys. I didn't know how to digest it before, but we're getting there.
Oh yeah. And when the sync piece is on like that, that's always
Starting to.
And look, that was an autopilot, non-gas 7-1. Non-gas 7-1 extension. What a Tuesday. What a day after Christmas.
Yeah, right. Merry Christmas. Felt a little off the end.
Yeah, you lost extension.
But
you hit the spot. You put it in the 9, though. No one's upset with you hitting the 9. You know what I mean? We are okay with that.
Kind of just rolled into a windup part of my pen, so I'll just come back to the stretch part of my pen, so I'll come back to the windup. Let's go another cut. Let's try the back door.
Oof.
I felt like a good call.
That was great. That was nice.
Yeah.
Really clean up the 6-8 extension, but really good action. Really good late action here.
Those both feel like those.
Yeah, they were. You can see it right there.
Moving on.
That was great, honestly.
Thank you. As long as whatever tunnel I create at release, fastball sight, if the ball can go above it, it has to get below it. Or otherwise I'm not happy.
You got 6-4 extension, so you lost a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the arc was pointed up. Okay. So that means, right?
So get out there and get over it.
Yeah, you got to get it a little bit further on that dunk.
Okay. All right. Same thing. I felt higher. I don't think I got out there as far.
Yeah, it was a little shorter, but not as up though. So it was a good attempt. So the wrist action down was better.
Okay. Let's try that one more time.
Maybe a little bit more with the feet. Maybe it's just a feet thing.
I'm not going to climb the hill so much.
Still gross. Still gross.
A little bit pop. A little bit more pop than I want.
Agreed? Lost extension? So that means you're, and only 2,200, so I need a 25, so a little bit more friction and a little more snappy with the wrist down. So like, clean it, put your seatbelt on fast. That's what I like to say. There she is. There she is.
That'll do.
2,400 spin, 6-3 extension, way straight out of the hand on the track line.
Yeah.
Perfectly straight.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, baby.
Mission accomplished on that one.
Beautiful, baby.
Let's see some 2-swing changeups. That felt pretty good.
Ooh. 7 extensions, 1600 spin. Very nice.
I pushed it. It was okay. I pushed it. Cut the circle off and brought it in a little bit.
I would agree. You got a point, but also that could have been feet weight shift, right? Like, don't be afraid of a weight shift. Still got to get off first downbeat, the second downbeat.
I'm gonna like try to beat the hell out of the downbeat on this one.
Don't lose the wrist.
Yeah. That sped me up and I got under it. Okay, now speed up and get on top of it. Let's see what happens. Bet you it dives. Come on, baby. Do all the things.
Alpha, it's a little wider.
Yeah.
You're inside.
That wasn't the best one.
On the TrackMan, you can see that you're a little inside the fastball release right there. You can see you're a little in it. You got to get a little bit further out. Get around it more.
All right.
That was a loud noise. The tablet's over here. Hey, will you hand them the Android tablet that's over there? It's either in here or with Berto.
Okay.
Yeah, that little one right there. They got it.
That was good.
That was great. Came back to you.
Yeah. Good. Slide it. I need to find a better tunnel off the hand on that.
Just seems like on the breaking balls, you're a little inside the release point. You know what I mean? You can stay closed a little longer and get wider on it, right? You're trying to get it strike to ball. You can see it here too. It was fastball away and ran off the plate.
Yep.
Right?
Started in.
Yeah. All your breaking balls, you got to start inside for a ball.
Curveball.
Curveball, they don't move on the curveball?
Yeah. Like, well, honestly, two seam, heater. I got multiple of those.
All right, let's go. Let's do a little test here, right? You found the windup, the slider's there. Let's go to that first thing you said right there. Let's see if we can throw a flush curveball and put it right in this glove. How good are you? Oh, it was gross though. Yeah. Good effort. It's a good little drill though, right? Like challenge your brain, like, because it's fucking hard. That wasn't your fault.
No, yeah. I was just mad that I didn't throw a strike.
Definitely the best changeup you've ever thrown there. Yeah. Look at that.
Well, it finally got into my tunnel over here. I haven't thrown a changeup in that tunnel since I've been here. I finally hit it. All right, so what was the last one? I didn't throw a 14.
I'm out today, John.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to call it, this might be the one.
Yeah. Oh wait. If I finish it away, it makes me stay on it.
Outstanding.
I'm getting a little bit off the mound today. I'm gonna throw everything 2 times, 3 times, maybe 4 times.
Cool.
Easy 8s today. I felt good. I was keeping the elbow behind here, really getting in a good layback. I was getting here and I could feel it, and I wasn't like working. Good job. Cutter was like the one that I saw.
Yeah. I wiped some butt.
You wiped some butt. I could see it didn't cut as hard. It was just like
Yeah. Yeah, that was I want to throw a strike, not I want to throw a cutter.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to cut this fastball so it's a strike, not make that shit break.
Yeah.
I hear you.
That was good. A lot of fun. You can feel good. Huh? You think I'm ready?
Huh? Pull down. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Let me know, okay? Well, hey, nice to meet you. It's been a fun month, a fun, easy month. We talked about, I intentionally go hard on people, and it's a good, bad thing we talked about.
Right.
Yeah. But it's also because I could smell what it is. You know what I mean? I have an intuition for
real serious baseball players that are trying to do crazy shit. Things that we know are so far removed from the chances of their lives, where I feel like a lot of our story is very similar, whereas, you know, went to this place, listened to this guy, went to that guy, and that was one of my favorite questions when we first met was, well, how did you make it? So, you know, and so your version of that story, the scenic route, you know, what do you got on the scenic route for? Here's an interesting angle that I feel like you might like, because we're both intellectual and stuff. I heard from one of the podcast guys that I like to listen to, if you were to ask this question to yourself and you were answering to yourself from like 5 years ago,
Right.
you know, the scenic route plus the lesson, but also understanding how that path developed you to the Jedi that you are, right?
Yeah, that's actually something I do think about a lot, just because it hasn't been obvious to me, like, what kept me going, despite some other guys I saw that I played with that, you know, quit that I thought were more talented than me, or guys that were definitely working a lot harder than me, or, you know, what was the thing that, like, slipped me through all the cracks? You know, I wasn't really sure. But it is something I've been curious about over my career, and the things that I've kind of come to were that I was obsessed with baseball, and I just loved throwing, and whatever opportunity came my way to do that, I just jumped on. And so I was pretty open-minded about what the route looked like, and the end goal was always the big leagues. There were years and years of my career where it felt like I was never going to come even close to it. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
I joke with a lot of guys and my teammates in affiliate that, like, indie ball is like the closest and the farthest from the big leagues you'll ever get at the same time. You got nowhere to go. You just got to win. You're trying to win a ring. It's you and your town, you know. So that's all kind of the more big league feel. But then, you know, obviously it's smaller towns than the show. So
yeah, it's funny you said that.
It's the farthest you'll be too.
I felt the same way when I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I felt like I was a part of the town, because a lot of you know, the mayor would cook us dinner every once in a while. It would always be like, this would never happen in my hometown. Like, not one time would I be around the mayor in my hometown, right?
I know, that's the beauty of indie ball, is you really, like, the community is really backing you, and you feel it, and you meet them, and, you know, you get involved, and it's a lot of fun. It's got its own charm to it, for sure. And I appreciate my time in indie ball, but
so second stint in Australia. You know, from what's your number one takeaway from the first one to the second one? Obviously, I know you're going to make adjustments. You're a professional, but, you know, what is, you know, I remember my first year in Mexico to my second year in Mexico, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this, right? I'm going to do this more. You know, have you thought about what that might be?
I'm going to pay way more attention to the hitters now. Well, last time I was there, I was 23. I'm 30 now. So the way I pitched then was somewhat more of a bull in a china shop. You know, like, I had a bunch of pitches. They were all, you know, moving a decent amount, enough to fool hitters, and I was just trying to throw everything at you as much as I could. And, you know, I was trying to throw all my pitches 100% of the time, if that makes any sense, you know.
100%.
So now I understand that I'm attacking the hitter and creating the cadence, but I do have an eye, more of a predator, kind of watching I'm more patient with the kill now. You know what I mean? I'm able to see what the hitter's trying to accomplish, where he's trying to accomplish that in the zone, and try to steer away from that if I can. Am I perfect, and do I execute that all the time? No, but I think the art of recognizing what that guy's trying to do can take you a long way, and understanding what parts of the zone to attack. It's just a more informed attack plan.
100%. And then that's probably that indie, you know, growth mindset of what you went to, because when you go to indie ball and you don't have a video or a scouting department, then like, you're just like live reading, like you're playing poker in real time, right? Like,
exactly.
Okay, he does this, he does that.
That's exactly it.
You know, you and I vibe over those, like, you named it the other day, I really liked it. You said bytes. You were talking fisherman bites and stuff like that. And that's always fun, because I don't remember exactly what word I had for it, but as soon as you said that, I was like, 1,000%. Like, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so the hitter's the fish, and if you get him to bite on the pitch, it means that he, for a split second, thought about swinging. And the way you read that is by seeing, I think the first bite that you'll see out of a guy is his hip. That's like the lightest bite you could get. The hip twitch, like, okay. And then I think the next level of bite is hips and hands, right? So, like, you got a hip and hand. So now we're kind of talking check swing, right? That's obviously a deeper bite. Like, he saw what he liked for longer. It was harder for him to hold up. The best bite of all is the swing and mitt.
What about the weight shift bite, right? Like what about the chase?
That's a good one too.
Chase with the feet, right?
Yeah. So that's sometimes it's involved with the hip bite, but there are guys that they don't go hips. But you can get them on their front foot. That's an easy thing to read too, because I mean, if you see them on their front foot, you know their timing is already messed up. So you just play with them and
for sure.
And work from there.
Yeah, it's been fun, taking this style of training and applying it to you, especially with random hitters, right? Like, I always trying to get these other pro guys in here to understand, like, it's hard. It's a weird thing to say, and I don't say it, but I just don't think that the system that helps you get to the big leagues is effective. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where we look at. Yeah, there's a ton of things that can help, but like that question, right? Like, well, how do you get there? You know what I mean? And what are the real reasons?
It can be hard to navigate all those amenities in the affiliate ball. There is a lot that gets given to you. And it can be a blessing and a curse, because I mean, if you use it the appropriate way, it could benefit you. But the data, like coming from indie ball where there wasn't any to affiliate ball where I had a ton. I remember in AA, I had a lot of trouble because I was diving so deep into scouting reports that all I could really see when I was pitching, when I stood on the mound in front of the hitter, I could see his hot zones, and it felt like I was just on my heels all the time, pitching really defensively instead of feeling like the attack animal, the predator. It was totally a different feel, and the results weren't very good. So it spoke for itself.
It's an interesting concept too that you talk about too, where it's like predator prey. Like I distinctly remember watching games to like take notes, focus, and be like, okay, when I get into the game like this, he's going to be like that. Have you is there an example you can think of, either in live right now or something in the past where you recognized a bite and were able to use it against them?
It's hard for me to like point to specifics because it is such a living, like, fluid thing that we do. Like, I think my favorite way to do it is just to be like seeing it in front of me and just pick it apart. Be like, this is what I see here, here, and here.
Right.
But one thing that I do remember from last season that we had talked about as a team, actually, there was a team, I forget which org, and I won't mention it just because I'm going to play them again this year. But a lot of them had really still hands, and they didn't have big movements for their load. So wherever their hands started, they just kind of stayed there. And I remember talking about how that meant that if they wanted to create power separation, they had to fly that hip. Because if you're not going to move your backside, you got to move the front side to get something going. So they would fly that hip up, and that meant, like, for that whole team, you could kind of live away and be able to get away with it. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't going to put a powerful swing to something away until they adjusted to it. Right? Now, are they pro hitters and big leaguers that are going to make those adjustments? Absolutely. But it just gives you somewhere to start, somewhere obvious when you're looking at a video. That's a hole, right? Like, it still is going to play out how it plays out in live, real time with your read, and maybe you smell something different that takes you off of that initial read, but there's a million different variables you can look at.
I say smell all the time too, because it's like instinctual, right? Like you get the, when do you want to throw the sinker? I don't know, whenever it smells. It just kind of comes over you.
You just know, like, you see something in the hitter, I don't know, like, sometimes it's an attitude, like he thinks he's got like a smile he gives you or something, like an attitude, and you just know you got him if you basically, like, he's showing you a bite before he even swung.
Yeah, for sure.
So you might adjust to that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, there's been a bunch of interesting processes that I feel like that I have not had a lot of I haven't had as many high-level conversations with pitchers as with you, because of, I think that we both came from that lack of velo, or the other side too that's also with lack of velo, the trick guys, like the really, 80 grade splitters, the 80 grade sliders.
Right.
There's other guys that I've worked with that have been curveball cutter guys that are just like different than what the norm is, right?
Right. And like, do I have teammates that don't have to worry about things like a guy bat waggling and changing his timing, right? Like, so for me, I don't throw 100. I can watch a guy bat waggle and understand the moment he has a thought, because you can't hit and think at the same time. So as soon as he has a thought, I throw the ball. And obviously, when he changes his cadence with his swing, whether it be a little slower or he gives a little pause, he just had a thought, throw the ball, right? Like, he's not going to get his best swing off, probably.
Yeah,
you know?
Agreed.
So just free little things like that guys don't think about.
I see some other stuff too that's interesting that, like, I guess it's, you can't, in the American game, for what we grew up with, there's too many constants, so you can't exactly understand this until you get to pro ball. But country of origin and like academy of origin really affect how the guys play that. But in America, in the college game and the indie game, like what we played, there were a lot of the same versions, or less archetypes, as I would say.
Yeah, archetypal hitters. Yeah, so like, you know, you got the big powerful righty that stands off the dish, and then, you know, if he was a high round draft pick, you know, from a certain country, like maybe he's likely to swing a certain type of pitch. You know, like, it's just trends. You know, it's like trying to give yourself a way to kind of organize, because there's only so many ways to create rotational power at the dish, right? Like, you can't, there's not a million ways to do that well. There's only a few, right? So like, understanding which slot guys picked to be powerful in goes a long way, and that's what we talk about with the archetypes. And there's a ton of things that layer over top of that idea too, like he's saying, with the country they're from, you know, what round were they drafted in, how, you know, kind of how cocky are they, or, you know, whatever, you know, how confident are they,
what's the signing bonus,
right? And it's something that we do look at too, is how hot guys are right now. Like, because you could have a guy with a, you know, 350 batting average in the minors, but he hasn't hit in the last 10 games. So that's something I'd want to know, because I might look up at the scoreboard and see that batting average initially and think this guy's hot, right? Just because he's batting over 300. But maybe he's not hot right now. Maybe he was at 400 and he dropped to 350, you know?
Sure, totally.
So find guys in skids, try to stay on top of them, right? Like, just little, and all of that's just mental thing to try to give you an edge when you're out there and feel a predator even more. You know, it all kind of comes back to what can make me compete in real time, because that's the useful stuff, the practical stuff.
Yeah, we're back to like the process, right? Where, you know, you take all the information of the heat maps and everything that you're doing, and then you still make an instinctive, you know, educated decision on what pitch. And the fun part about you and me is the entire time from the ball has left our fingers to catcher picking it, throwing it back to us. We're processing all that information to come up with a very simple, okay, now I'm going to throw this. You know, is there a process that you like to touch on that you feel like helps you be more consistent on? Like,
yeah, totally.
What makes you feel it?
So every pitch, I get my sign.
It's the power to the screen, by the way. The power to the screen. You get him to go over to the screen and adjust the power to the screen. That's why it's being really open.
But so every pitch I throw, I get the sign. I throw the pitch, and I get the throw back from the catcher, and I give myself until the rubber to think about that last pitch, right? Be it I was happy with it, I didn't execute my tunnel, or maybe my body felt a little off balance or unrhythmic, right? Like, I deal with any sort of thinking about that while I get the ball back and then turn around. By the time I've towed the rubber, or like touched the rubber, or even gotten up there again, it's time for the next one, right? And that may inform how I think about the next one, and it might be something to remember, but it's not going to be in the forefront of my mind anymore, right? Once I hit the rubber, it's my trigger to be like, boop, back to the, like, you still have a job, there's still a guy over there trying to hit one off you know, get back to work. Because, I mean, I'm just trying to inform myself, and it always comes back to competing, man. It's just you and the hitter, right? Like, you got to beat him.
I agree. Yeah, so this is funny. Of course, we're running out of TrackMan issues in that way. I have theories. We'll talk about it. Just throw your pen. Right? Just have fun. It's funny watching young guys get upset about things that don't really matter.
It's part of the journey. I did it too.
Yeah, even when you came in here, we were talking about the same thing, and that's where, you know, I wanted to touch on, you know, do you normally do this much live? You know, did you notice a difference in your training where you were throwing bullpens before, throwing under a fence, to the difference of like we got some high level guys in here, you know, and sharpening the sword, you know, like to me I think that's huge. What do you feel about it?
Oh yeah, I mean, being in this environment has been a lot for this offseason. I mean, I've gained a ton in knowledge, in velo, in spin, extension, and in relationships with these good guys in here. It's a great place to cultivate your baseball player. You know? But yeah, in the past, I was just going to a park with a buddy, just trying to feel it out. But the progress you can gain when seeing these numbers in front of you every day, like you don't have to only go off the field. You have something that's informing it. It just makes you. I mean, that number isn't everything, but it does tell you a lot. So I have to have the feel that I get link up with the numbers, and when that happens, it's magic. So it's and understanding and kind of learning through that process has been new for me, but it's really good. And I'd like to think that I've taken to it because it's so fun in here. It's easy to take to.
It's very, I'm glad that you see the fun. I mean, that's the whole plan behind it. What? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you were talking about the quality of hitter. Like in years past, shout out to Point Loma High School. They used to let me come throw live ABs to them for most of my trips to spring training or whatever the case. And so those guys were great, man. It was a lot of fun hanging out with them and get to know those guys. But having my leaguers in here, even though it is inside, like having a quality of hitter that I see in my pro career is obviously helpful. No diss on the Point Loma guys, but guys getting paid. There's a reason they get paid, so it's and we also all train in here together every day, which makes it a lot of fun too, because then it's like you're throwing against your boys, and so you want it kind of that much more.
The competitive edge definitely, I feel like, is the sharpening of the thing. You see that a lot of MMA camps, and you and I are Connor fans and other people to this, and watching the most recent documentary, he just hired all the best training dudes and brought them to him.
Totally.
Genius move. Genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smart move, dude.
So having a hub like this where we can all do stuff like this is great. And obviously very valuable to me.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I'm grateful.
Well, thanks for your time, of course. Let's have some fun in Australia. Why don't you tell everybody how they can follow you, and then what team you're on, and go, take them through the year. They're gonna follow you through 2024. Where do you start? Where do you end?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at RandyWynne9. I'm going to be a Melbourne Ace for January in Australia in the ABL. And then when I come home, I'll be going to spring training in Arizona. And then maybe Louisville Bats, maybe Cincinnati Reds. You never know what the future holds. But that's where you might be able to find me. I don't even know where I'm going to be able to find you. That's the life, though. Living the dream.
I hated those questions. That's why I asked you growing up. They're like, "Hey, do you know where you're playing?" I'm like, "I don't." It doesn't really work like that.
Yeah, they get to decide. Yeah, they can throw me a double A for all I know. It doesn't, but I'm happy to play.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.